Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Brojo. We are live for the Robro's News. My name is Max.
I'm Zach.
This is Strohman.
Leroy Jenkins.
What up, guys? Kien.
Alright, first off, we're going to do our trailers, and we are looking at 1922, a novella from Stephen King that kind of looked odd.
It looked interesting. Like, I'd watch it. It's kind of a horror series, it seems like, but it looks good.
Right? As long as they keep it short, like under 10 episodes, it could be great.
Yeah,
Otherwise, it'll start.
Movie.
Is it a movie?
I think so.
Otherwise, it'll start getting way too predictable. I mean, I already figured out a good portion of it just from the trailer.
Right. Yeah. The trailer did give a lot away. I'm hoping it's a movie. No,
I have that problem with trailers nowadays. They give a lot away.
Right.
Like,
they gotta hook you in, so they give you all the good shit.
And then when you go to see the movie, it's like.
It's kind of just like when we saw Kingsman, when we saw the trailer. I'm like, oh, this is what I'm gonna get. And this is what I feel like I'm gonna get to. Like, feels like I'm gonna get, like, I know what's gonna happen. I know what the beat is. I know what horror thing it's gonna be. So it looks cool.
Right.
Everyone looks all methed out. So
right. It's from 1922. From what we got, this guy and his wife are having a dispute. The wife wants to move her family to the city. And the guy is a farmer. It looks like his family's probably been farmers for a while. His son wants to stay there and be a farmer. Instead of getting a divorce, he kills his wife and she comes back and starts haunting them.
He also dumps her body in a well.
Yeah, he dumps her body in the well. Yeah, the cop does show up.
No, rats.
Oh, yeah, rats. When she
rats.
starts haunting them, she starts bringing rats with her because rats are eating her body in the well.
You know, it could be a psychological thriller. Maybe we're,
It's a Stephen King.
It is a movie. I looked it up.
It is a movie? Alright, so yeah, it's a Stephen King thing. It could go a lot of places really quick.
Yeah.
Gil, there's a pillow there. You can't touch Kian's dick right now.
I wanted the pillow. It's a good pillow.
Oh my god. Alright, so our next trailer is Geostore.
Alright, so the only reason I brought this one up is because the first trailer, they said this has been in production hell for 2.5 years.
I could see that.
It has been in production hell for 2.5 years. So the first trailer that ever came out said that the machine went malfunctioned.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're saying someone hacked that machine. So what that means is they probably did some reshoots, and there's going to be a villain in an opposite room of everyone else that they're never going to meet.
Yep.
And man, this movie is fucking ridiculous.
Picture Day After Tomorrow meets like some sci-fi thriller, and it's just gonna be terrible.
And 2012.
I feel like it's 2012 meets Sharknado because it's going to be a dumpster fire of hell.
Y'all motherfuckers about these things is like, the weather isn't a thing you can run to. Y'all remember the Day After Tomorrow when they're trying to like run away from ice and they're like, close the door, and the ice is like, well fuck, I can't go through this door. This is the same thing with Geostore. A fucking Honda Civic, not a Civic, a fucking like Prius is out running fire. I'm like, I'm calling bullshit on that.
Right.
I mean,
I don't know.
Or 2012, that whole escape the city scene. Let's outrun an earthquake.
Yeah, see, and that shit is ridiculous. Like,
It makes for a great comedy, though.
It does.
It looks interesting. It's going to be funny to laugh at because it's going to be a crapshoot movie.
Right. People are like, man, like on the real, I do not understand the appeal for disaster movies, like at all. Like,
because we're in an age where like every 3 months is the pseudo apocalypse. The world's gonna end.
We survived last Saturday. We're good, man.
Guys, it turns out that this is the prequel to all the Sharknado movies. That's how they're possible.
Alright, so here's what I think. Like, we're getting to the point of ridiculousness that we have where I cannot fucking wait till someone's like, this is the flat earth disaster movie. We found out the earth is flat and everything is falling.
Somebody cracked through the planet. We're screwed.
Yeah.
A meteor went through the planet, now it's a donut. Oh no.
Like, that's the thing. Like, these movies have no science. Like the movie The Fucking Core and shit like that. Like, they have no science behind them. And, like,
right.
I don't...
Or little to no science. It's so future or so wacky where, like, shit's like, well, maybe that's kind of possible, I guess.
This looks like it's modern time, though.
No,
Yeah,
it has
like-
a little bit of a future.
Like 10 years in the future.
What? Sure.
I mean, they have an up and running NASA.
Yeah. Okay,
Right.
you're right. Yeah, you're right. The movie looks fucking weird. Like,
Maybe it's a good thing we shut down
Hey,
NASA.
maybe they have a space military that Trump instituted.
Oh god.
God damn you,
Well,
Strohman.
they have to have had some form of advanced education because that little girl is way too smart in that trailer. That's the one thing that throws me off. No, 11-year-old would know anything about space unless they were dedicated to the bit.
I mean, her dad is like a space technician,
But
engineer.
how dedicated would you want to be to actually learn about any of that?
Dude, he has a point. Like, my parents are nurses. I don't want to learn shit about medicine.
You want to go to be a fucking first responder, you idiot?
I know, but I don't but I don't have to know like penicillin and shit like that.
Fuck off.
Alright, but I'm Asian, so that doesn't
He doesn't
count.
know he doesn't have to know the chemical compound.
Yeah, like I'm Asian, that doesn't have to count. Like, okay, so like
Just shut up.
we follow in our paths, but no, like on the real, like this is such a.
What's the next movie? What's the next trailer?
Our next trailer is Peter Rabbit.
Oh yeah, this was literally like, hey, there's a talking rabbit in a movie.
Cool.
Watch
They,
it.
they raid a dude's house.
That's
So it's like that movie that came out a while back where Russell Brand voices the rabbit.
Yeah.
That's hot. That's so.
There you go.
I don't know.
Okay, it's not the same premise, but yeah, there's a rabbit
It's
running
similar.
around with a jacket on, and he decides to get a bunch of animals to raid
Man,
this
all
dude's
I know
house.
is like when we went to go see the Lego Ninjago movie, this trailer was playing, and Max is like just sitting there like laughing. I'm like, ah,
It
fuck
looks
you.
so
I was like,
stupid.
fuck you. I was
Every
like-
time something happened, I was like, why the fuck is this
And
going on?
he like Max and I have the opposite of I'm cynical as fuck, but he's like, oh, everything's funny. I'm like, god damn it.
I'm sorry I have a light personality on my permanent depression.
This is the people. This is for the people who just want to take their children to see something and get them to calm down. And stoners.
Oh, fuck.
You're dang right.
Yes, I'm going to this movie.
Like
Same
I
as
take it
watching.
I take it like this, like I have dodged a couple bullets when like Lindsay and her daughter wanted to go see movies, and I'm like, I don't want to see it. This one I feel like I'm probably gonna have to fucking see it because it's gonna be like coming out on Easter or some shit.
Right.
And it's like, come on, we should all go see it. I'm like, nah.
Alright, so what's the next one we get?
It
and
looks ridiculous.
yeah, Peter Rabbit looks
Yeah.
bad. So, Maze Runner: The Cure of Death.
It looks
There is no cure.
Right? That is
Like-
said like 7 times in a 2-minute trailer.
like.
Well, I mean, a
think it'll
bullet
be
between
good,
the eyes
but like.
pretty much cures death.
I don't know. I'm not really into this series. The first movie I watched wasn't bad. Never even got around to watching the second one.
You
It
know,
looks like a crazy action movie.
I never got why Percy Jackson downgraded.
Because he can't fight gods anymore. The series is over.
That wasn't Percy Jackson who played him.
No, it's not. It's a
Looks like
Percy
him.
Jackson lookalike.
They all look alike in post-apocalyptic. Like all the
Right.
books are the same. Love triangle. The world is ending. Love triangle. Something else. Children die.
Love triangle.
Love triangle.
Gods are
Vampires and
mad.
werewolves. Love triangle.
Right.
Gods are mad.
Right?
Dude, they're straight up the same young, like, all these young adult novels, like, I'm sorry, everyone's like, oh, they're so impactful. They're all the fucking same.
I personally enjoyed the Percy Jackson book series.
Yeah.
I didn't mind the book series past the first one once shit started happening.
I mean, like, post-apocalyptic young adult novels.
Oh yeah, those.
Oh,
were-
yeah,
Like
they're all exactly the
Maze
same.
Runner, they're all the fucking same. And everyone's like, no, they're so different, man. They're so complex.
Just read the Hunger Games. and you'll
Dude,
be
they're
good.
not. They are the same shit every fucking time. Like, I'm sorry, I just cannot deal.
Alright. So our next one is Spielberg. This is a documentary of Spielberg's
Greatest
movie
hits?
career.
I think you should say what you said when you first saw the trailer. Well, as soon as the trailer was over. You basically said, I'm going to watch it while I'm high once and it'll be great.
Oh yeah, that's basically the only time I'm gonna watch it. Yeah, I totally fucking
See,
forgot about that.
Yeah, I like documentaries a lot. And
I might watch
I really find Steven Spielberg's catalog movies to be interesting because he can go
Right.
from E.T. to Indiana Jones and then jump to
like Jaws, and then to like Jurassic Park.
and then Schindler's List, and it's like
He's got a great repertoire. I will give him that.
I want to watch Michael Bay's because it'll just show how he does all his explosions all the time, no matter what.
like he redoes his, he like just takes stock footage of his explosions and shit. Yeah, Watch Transformers 2 and Bad Boys, you'll find out what happens.
Right.
No, but like I don't know. I find
Like-
Spielberg to be interesting.
Well, yeah, I find Spielberg to be interesting. I just don't watch documentaries.
That's which is very understandable.
They tend to be boring as shit to me.
I love documentaries. I find this to be super interesting. And plus, it's an HBO documentary, and they're always interesting.
Right, they're pretty good.
They did a documentary about the Slender Man stabbing, and they also did a documentary about the Defiant Ones. Dr. Dre creating beats and shit like that. And I found that to be super interesting. And, like, they tell their story, and, like, Steven Spielberg has always been a controversial thing. Like, I hope they just go upon the whole Poltergeist thing where, like, Steven Spielberg produced, but he was just director.
Yeah.
Like, the other guy was just the puppet. Like,
Oh, yeah,
and it was very true about that. So, like, if they touch on shit like that, like, not just the good things he did, but, like, some of the shit things he did to other people
Yeah, some
in
of
the movie industry.
the more undermining and shady things.
Right, and see, that's why I find it interesting. Like, that's how I kind of feel like what happened with Jurassic World is that Spielberg was like, oh, I see you're doing Jurassic World. I'm doing Jurassic World, and you're just gonna do what I want.
Right?
You know what I mean? It's shit like that, like, whenever you see that he's a producer on something, you kind of wonder if, like, he really put his thing more into it.
Yeah, if he's a producer on something, 9 out of 10 times he's, like, backstage directing.
Right. See, and that's why I find this interesting. I want to find that. Plus, Martin Scorsese talks about him, and they're about the two closest directors that have been doing solid shit throughout their careers. Like,
right.
Scorsese has had more flops than successes more compared to Spielberg, but like those two, they weren't competitive, but they are very competitive with their artistic views and things like that. And it's nice to hear his perspective on how he thought of Spielberg.
Right.
So personally, I think this is a good movie. I have no fight in the horse. Like, I'm gonna watch it. I have HBO, so.
Oh, good point. You do have HBO.
Yeah.
I might end up watching it.
Yeah, I mean, I have HBO, so I just kind of just use it.
From the
No fighting
trailers,
the horse.
it looked more like it was just going to paint him in a good light rather than
Yeah,
bring
the
up some of the shady
The
practices.
trailer did touch the good points.
That's probably to draw in people.
Right, because you don't want to go like, I don't know, Spielberg
This
is such
guy's
a
an asshole.
Yeah, I wanna be
Let's
like
watch a
Spielberg.
movie about him.
Spielberg is such a known name that you don't want to do shit like that. You don't want to be like, this guy's a fucking dick.
I didn't expect that.
He was a fucking dick in some parts. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
time.
but I
he's
didn't
the,
expect that
he's
to
the
be shown in the
poltergeist
trailers.
stuff that happened. He was not very nice.
Alright, so our next one is Murder on the Orient, which actually has a decent cast going to it, even though the major guy in this is fucking, what's his nuts?
Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp. The other people in there I've seen every once in a while.
Olaf!
Yeah, like they're alright actors. And I feel like Johnny Depp is going to attempt to take center stage in a lot of this, because that's what he does.
Yo, I don't like Johnny Depp as much as everyone else does. Like, everyone I fucking know is just balls deep in Johnny Depp. On the real, I have not met anyone who has never, like... I tell everyone Johnny Depp's become super oversaturated. He's like, no, he's still a great actor, man. He dresses well and all this shit. I'm like, that's great. He actually dresses like a crazy hobo.
He is a crazy hobo.
He is a crazy hobo. But, like...
He's a crazy murder hobo.
Yeah,
Dude,
they just
no.
keep giving him lots of money.
Right, like on the real, like when Ryan and I have had this argument a couple of times, even on this podcast. I'm like, when Johnny Depp did Jack Sparrow, every other character he's done has been Jack Sparrow, but with a curly mustache. Jack Sparrow, but in like fucking prosthetics on his face. Like he's always been the same.
The same crazy shenanigans, crazy
right.
guy.
Jack Sparrow with a painted face and a top hat.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
That's my problem with this. This is like, and this doesn't seem very different. Like he just, like, sure he might be a side character, but he's still gonna be that crazy fucking dude that's like, oh my gosh, let me do something on whimsy and things like that.
Yeah, some crazy shenanigans are gonna pull up because that's what he does.
Granted, like, I mean, I like murder mysteries. I find like those things are very undermined, and I find murder mysteries to be extremely enjoyable. Like
The first time,
like I love Clue.
right?
And it feels like an adult Clue. Like, that's where I stand on this. But it's also kind of just like, they try to play it out like, look at all these people, who could they be? And I'm like, I'm pretty sure when you watch the fucking movie, you're gonna find out who it is, like, halfway through. And then you're just kind of like, alright.
It was the butler.
Probably, that's what it fucking seems like. Like, Johnny Depp can only play 2 roles. He's either gonna get murdered right away, and this is the reason, but it doesn't look like that now.
No, in the newest trailer we got, he's actually listed as one of the suspects.
Right, because in the other one, he wasn't.
Yeah, he was failed to be listed in the other one.
So this means that there's a possibility that he is actually a suspect, so he's probably the killer.
Probably.
I mean, with Johnny Depp is weird because he was in fucking Tusk and Yoga Hoser, in 2 of the shittiest movies I've ever seen, playing these mundane roles. So he could either be playing a mundane cameo, or he's the crazy killer.
He's the crazy guy in this. He's the gangster on the train.
He's the butler.
No, he's the gangster.
He's the gangster.
Is he?
There's a butler in there, though.
Yeah. All right, so
Probably the butler.
our next one is Annihilation.
Looked boring as hell. Would not watch.
It's a
It
6.
only had Natalie Portman in it. That was like the only thing going for it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really like The Arrival. So I mean, you don't get much, and even The Arrival was vague. So this is what I mean, though. I think that it's better to have it more vague than to let you know what the fuck is that. You know what I mean?
Right. It seemed like they're going into this like deep dive world. Like people are being wired together and like shoved into a mind or something like that.
Right.
The Matrix, bro.
I will fucking kill you.
Right. Well, I mean, that's kind of what it looked like. It kind of looked like a fucked up, like everybody's minds are wired together and here's the internal matrix kind of thing. But what they gave from it is like, if you go in there, you're going to die. And then she's like, but if I go in there, I can save him. And she's in there, and it looks like shit's just going fucking haywire.
Yeah.
Everybody's dying, stuff's happening,
Yeah.
guns are shooting.
Right. It looked kind of...
Just waiting
I mean,
for the
some
wire
of the
food
visual-
next.
Some of the
Right.
visuals were pleasing, but
Right.
overall, it looked like a very.
I mean,
boring
that's what I
story.
mean. It looks like a pretty artistically done movie, and I mean that's what sold it for me, is that it looks pretty and it looks interesting. The visuals is what interested me, because there's like parts where she's like taming that gator and then she finds a gator skeleton within it. It's like, I don't know what that means. That could be some kind of symbolism. But I'm one of those people who look for those like minute differences in a movie and scenes like that. But I'm fucking weird. What can I say? I don't run a website that, critiques movies or stuff like that.
Metacritic.
Alright. So, the Fast and Furious Live.
I
Low-key
saw no trees in this.
terrible.
I'm low-key sad about this.
No trees yet.
No trees yet.
First episode.
Yo, this shit's fucking ridiculous.
I feel like this could end very poorly, very quickly.
It didn't look like they were moving very fast, though. Like, if somebody accidentally fell off one of these cars, they would literally be able to walk out of the way.
Or dive out of the way.
Yeah, like, the shit wasn't moving very fast.
Someone's coming.
Yeah, but they have to drive in to the stage.
Bro, I just fucking hated the intro. Like, here's the scene, and then they're gonna crush through the scene. I'm like, god damn, bro. Like,
It's gonna be something for people who are Fast and Furious fans. And it's live, it's being shown in only a few places, only a few times. So, I mean, if you want to see it, you're gonna go see it. If you don't, you're probably gonna forget about it after you're done listening to us talk about this.
Or find it on YouTube later.
Right, exactly. I guarantee there will be at least one person that manages to record some of it.
It doesn't have The Rock, so it won't have the comedy value.
yeah, The Rock's not fighting torpedoes in this. That's gonna be a no for me, dog.
Right. What the fuck is going on? Alright, so our next one is Wacko. Waco. Does anybody want to take the helm on this?
Alright, so
It's
this,
a cult.
Alright, so this is about what happened in it was 2011. I was a junior in high school when this shit went down. 51 people were doing a standoff with like FBI and shit like that, because they're a cult that culminated a mass amount of weapons, and it ended in a shoot-off where only like 2 or 3 people survived. So I mean, this is interesting. The fact that it's a 6-part miniseries gives me hope, because like, when you do a 2-hour-long movie, I don't think you can get a lot of what happened in there. You have to rush it. With a 6-part miniseries, you're open to like the analysis of different things. Like, you get a perspective of each story going on within what's happening. And I like Michael Shannon, but I don't like Taylor Kitsch because he's a shit actor. So, I mean, it's going to be weird, but he's got that southern accent anyways because he is from Texas, so I'm like, alright, let's give him it. But, I mean, the cast looks nice. Like, I like John Leguizamo and things like that, but in general, like, personally, it doesn't interest me, but it looks like, the matter of biopics are never interesting to me, for the most part. But this seems interesting to me enough because it was something that did happen. We had actually we were watching the news of the aftermath in our history class. So I kind of want to find out. Like, I never read into the internet. Yeah, what's up?
So you don't like biopics, but you like documentaries.
Yeah, there's a total difference, though.
Yeah, I see your point. Still, kind of weird.
Why is that fucking weird, Gil?
Yep. I'm not giving him a point for that. He actually had a point.
Why do you think documentaries are weird? Like,
no, like a biopic and a documentary are very close together. Like the difference between
are they really though?
They are. A
Bullshit.
documentary is just like straight up, and a biopic is like a documentary that's got actors and like action going on. And it's made into a movie.
Dude,
scene.
they're totally different. Dude, they're totally different. Dude, they are.
There's differences and there's similarities.
There's similar. There's not a lot of similarities.
There are a good amount
like,
of similarities.
You're doing a person, or like I think there'd be a difference to seeing The Disaster Artist, which is a fucking biopic of The Room, and then watching a documentary of The Room.
You basically are watching a documentary.
No, you like a biopic is a performance of an actor doing that shit.
So it's a documentary with acting.
Oh, fuck off, dude. It is not the same.
That is what it is.
Shut the fuck up, Strohman.
You basically counted your argument.
It's kind of the same.
Alright, next one.
Alright. So we are now looking at Pitch Perfect 3, and I'm excited for this.
All of you had hard-ons for this except for like me and Zach. Really.
Alright, so why aren't you interested in this, Nathan? Because you're saying something.
Well, I mean, I'm not interested in it. It's just not my kind of movie. I don't know.
Alright, so Zach, do you have anything to say?
I just haven't seen them, so I don't.
Alright.
Well, Gil wasn't as Gil was like calling us scum for like.
That's because Gil hates everything pop culture.
Yeah. Gil does.
Man,
Gil's
like,
the anti-pop
especially
culture
women.
guy. That's exactly
and
why I
dumb
didn't want to see
people.
it.
Which combines two things with Pitch Perfect 3.
Yeah.
Nah, like, on the real, like, I know it's dumb as fuck, but I mean, it is one of those few movies that I can sit down and actually enjoy to giggle here and there. Like, plus, like, I ain't gonna lie, Andrew Kendrick is bae to me. Like, on the real.
I think she was bae for
Come
a lot
on,
of
Max.
people after
You
this
can't deny
first
the
movie.
fact that you feel the same.
If given the opportunity, yes. But I would not be like, I'm gonna go chase after her. She's not that amazing. She's not. She's funny and she's kind of attractive.
And that's how we lose most of our viewer base.
I don't give a fuck.
Because our viewer base is funny and kind of attractive?
Don't know.
No,
It's
Sherman,
like
you're
the-
not. You're kind of attractive, you're not funny.
Well, no, I was gonna high five you.
Oh my god.
Oh,
All right.
him the right to a 5-5.
So we got one movie left, or actually a TV show, and this is Happy. So an ex-cop known as like one of the best detectives in the area seems to go on a downhill spiral, and when he comes back up in a paramedic, like in an ambulance after the paramedics save him, there's a fucking flying unicorn donkey-looking piece of shit that is now his new partner. And it's cartoony as fuck. This is an adult TV show, and this thing is just messing with his head, basically.
Like,
Very
how-
graphic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
how I view it is it's kind of like Max Payne, but he has the unicorn sidekick going on. In his
Right,
head.
the crazy in his head is actually visualized as a fucking unicorn.
No, I find this shit to be interesting though. Like,
It'd be a weird
It
show.
looks fun.
But
well, it's sci-fi, so it's kind of like.
It's not gonna be the most incredible thing you've ever seen, but it'll at least be decent.
Right, it'll be enjoyable to watch. Probably not much past that.
Right, like I don't think it's gonna have a lot of heart to it or anything like
Right,
that.
not a very deep plot.
Turns
or
out
anything.
we get the most heartwarming, gut-wrenching
Big
story
fucking
of
TV show.
2000.
This
of the
becomes
2000s.
like the next Breaking Bad or Walking Dead or some shit
Oh
like
my
that. And
God.
we're like, fuck yeah!
Rob, this becomes the next Breaking Bad, and I'm gonna fucking hate. Well, I'm gonna fucking hate him as much as I hate Walter White. Then.
Lol.
What do you mean, Walter is great?
Fuck, no, he's not. He's
And
a
there goes
fucking
some
shit.
of our audience.
He's a shit
The
person.
people who made Breaking Bad are even like, why the fuck do y'all like Walter White? He was made to be the bad guy.
Bryan Cranston is an incredible actor.
That
He
doesn't mean
is,
shit, but he's,
but
even,
he's-
like,
a piece of shit.
He's a piece of shit in
dude,
this show.
everyone
No,
was straight
even
up-
he's like, you shouldn't like this guy.
Right.
That's just a
But, like-
testament to how good he
But
is. as an
everyone was
actor.
like rooting for him to win. I'm like, y'all, dude, he fucking killed a child. He like, god damn, like. I don't think Anthony Molina in this is gonna like kill children or anything like this.
He might.
He might. He seems
He's
fucking
crazy.
That
Right.
dog can be like, leave him to die. Do
All
it now.
Alright, so that is it for our trailers. We are now going into our movie news. Denis Villeneuve, something like that, director of The Arrival, is in early talks to direct the Cleopatra biopic starring Angelina Jolie that has been in development for years at Sony. So basically, Angelina Jolie is gonna be Cleopatra, probably, and it's probably gonna not actually show boobs, but that's something she tends to do.
It'll get close.
It'll get very close. She'll be wearing something skin tight, or like she won't be wearing anything. We're only gonna be seeing her from the back or something like that.
And
That's like the first thing you like bring up.
That
with
is
fucking,
what she has done in all of her major films for like what, the last 10
like,
years.
Beowulf, where she's
Yeah,
like
like-
drenched in gold and like
Right.
you can't see
Mr.
her
and
nipple.
Mrs. Smith.
Wanted.
Right? Like that's what she's been doing for a long time, and that's what I hate to say this because she's not a bad actress. She's actually all right, but like that's what keeps drawing people to her. She's an attractive person that almost shows you nudity. Yeah.
So I did not like her in Alexander. Like she was shit in that, and like this, like I don't. Man, it's one of those things where like you do biopic. Like I don't understand why people when they do ancient Greek or whatever, ancient civilization biopics, maybe it's because people think it sounds more regal when they're fucking talking in a British accent. But she does a shit British accent, and I know
Right.
for damn fucking sure that this is another one of the things I want to bring up that like Cleopatra wasn't white.
She's Egyptian. They're pale-ish.
They were motherfucker.
Are they more tan?
They're tan. They look more like Zach than me.
Right, like, but no, you know what I mean though.
Like
Are you guys
they're
not
not a
some gods
white
of
dude,
Egypt?
but they're
Shut the fuck
they're
up.
but
they're
they're tan.
They're colored, but they're
Right.
not like. This
Okay,
sounds
let's-
incredibly racist, but they're not like Middle African.
Right.
Like you're not getting that
They're tan.
skin
We'll
color.
just
They're
leave it at
tan.
that.
Yeah,
They're like
Let's just say that.
they're like a soft base, like a soft burnt.
yeah,
They
Give
look
or
like a
take.
sugar cookie.
Right. No.
Can we
sugar
just
cookies
stick with
will
their
fail.
tan and keep going?
yeah.
Right.
All
Nah,
right.
but like on the real though, like this is where one of those things where it's just like you could get people like I don't know, Gal Gadot would have been a perfect Cleopatra because she's from Israel. Like oh shit, that would probably be bad. But
Yeah.
oh shit.
Let's just move on.
No,
keep going.
rewind.
No, but like for real, you
Please
do
stop.
but you do have Middle Eastern actors, like actresses could totally play this.
Yeah.
That's where I stand on this.
She's
It's
a- This has been in development for years. Sony is probably running low on money, and they had Angelina Jolie, so they were kind of like, well, fuck it, we got her. We might as well use a big actress and draw in a crowd.
Dude, I get you on that, but that shit like
That's
just-
what they do.
But I take it like this. You look at like Exodus Gods Among Us, that Ridley Scott movie.
Mhm.
It's like we put black people in there, but you put those Egyptian characters that weren't the white actors as like furniture pieces, technically speaking, and they just stood there.
Yeah.
Like that's what I mean, though. You could totally
Like the tree in the background.
right. They
Yeah.
basically are. So like I make that point. It's just like, I'm not big on the whole like whitewashing shit like that. But this is one of those things where it's like you can start doing it a little bit better.
This is where I point out that Kien has gone from I don't mind whitewashing to I wish they would stop doing it to it's alright to Please stop doing it too. Try harder, please.
Everything is different though, Max. Like, I'm not trying to be a dick about it.
I've come to the realization that they'll have to get some more Ajax.
Next. Alright, Lucifer's showrunner Joe Henderson is now writing a reboot for the 1980s sci-fi kids movie Flight of the Navigator for Lionsgate. I honestly haven't seen this movie and or heard of it.
Alright, so Flight of the Navigator is a weird sci-fi movie that this kid gets a ship and he flies around with it and fights aliens.
So
Alright.
Jimmy Neutron.
No, shut the fuck up! Y'all
Alright, next one.
motherfucker.
Hit us with the next one.
Alright, so It Chapter 2 gets a May 2019 release date.
2 years.
That's almost 2 years from the Chapter 1 release date. That's gonna be, in our time and age, anything that's over 6 months old is old news. This is 2 years of a Chapter 2. We're gonna have new technology, new animation styles,
New fake news.
the original cast is now going to be older now. They're all going to be showing up to this preview, I'm sure. And it's just going to be... I'm hoping and praying that it'll be as good as the first one, but it depends on how they do. But they are taking 2 years to make sure they do it right.
And the first one did pretty well.
Right? Like, if they were being like, alright, the first one's released, we're releasing the next one in, like, mid-2018, I'd be like, the fuck are you doing?
Well, that's the thing. It's not like a tweet novel like we just talked about on Maze Runner Tape. They only take about a year to fucking just scrap an idea and then throw it on there. Like, they actually...
Have shown care with the product.
Right.
Technically speaking, like... fuck, dude. They keep saying that's going to be like Pennywise's origin and shit like that, and I think that sounds ridiculous.
I like that we get very little of Pennywise's origin. It actually makes him scarier, not
Right.
knowing what he is.
Right. So, like, with that in mind, like, I would rather just them do the adult time skip, and that's the only thing that I'm seeing about this is that they're probably trying to find the adult actors that equate to the young actors, which would make complete sense.
Right. Well, they were probably looking at that even before the first one was released.
Right, but he even made a point that if it wasn't, I don't think he, but then again, I don't think it really was, because he made the point that, like, I made this movie to have a definitive end, just in case there wasn't a sequel.
Yeah, but then, like, when they were doing previewings and stuff, before the movie came out, we got confirmation we were getting a second one.
Mm.
So, I mean, not long prior to the first one
Well,
being
you had
done.
confirmations that there's a possibility because of the positive screenings. You don't really get a sequel until the box office numbers hit, and that's after the second week revenue. And because it has broken a ton of box office, like it's the highest grossing rated R horror film, you know, and all things like that. Of course, they're gonna make a sequel.
Right.
When people say that when people quote unquote say there's a sequel, they usually, it's the studio's like, we have high hopes for this movie.
Right. They intend for a
Right.
possibility.
Right. So, I mean, they're taking their time, but at the same time, like I said, all your kid actors, well, you see them in interviews now, and those kids hit fucking puberty, so your flashbacks are either going to be them in high school and them falling apart. You can't have them as those kids in middle school anymore.
Well, we don't need flashbacks to where we had them
But that's
because
what
that
they're saying,
story's
though. They're
done.
saying that they're still they want to do flashbacks with the kids, though.
Yeah, they're
So-
probably going to hit story... Because, like, what they did in the book is they hit story markers in between the two appearances of it. Like, things that were pivotal to their new character development. So, that'd be fine if these kids have hit puberty, and now
Right.
we're hitting stuff like that. I'd be okay with that.
Right. Initially, when they said it, though, they wanted to do flashbacks to, like, that summer, and I'm like, I don't know if you can do that.
Yeah,
now.
that'd be hard to pull off.
Unless they filmed it already.
Yeah, if
Or
they...
are filming it right
Or
now.
they just took deleted scenes and just put it in, like, you know.
Yeah,
there's-
there could be things they do. There could be. I have hopes for them. They did a good job with this movie. The people who did it were competent. They cared for it. They'll make it good. They're gonna work on it. They're gonna try hard. All right. So Stephen King teases new adaptations of his classic novels Salem's Lot and The Stand, both of which were previously adapted into into miniseries.
Series.
Yeah, into miniseries. So, as someone who has read both of these books, I'm excited for this.
I'm not.
I want to see them redone with the new technology we have now.
I can totally understand you with that. But like we talked about a couple weeks ago, when one property becomes, because we had we have 4 now adaptations that came out. Like Gerald's Game is out on Netflix, and I mean I'm gonna give that a try. But we had 2 big blockbuster cinema Stephen King movies that came out this year. One which tanked, which is The Dark Tower, which tanked, and one which is It. So when you come to think it like that, you have to really like think of it the idea that like just because it has like it's just like what happened when The Shining came out and Firestarter. Like those were really good and Carrie, those were really good Stephen King movies. So everyone started to grab Stephen King properties and make movies out of them, and they just ended up like shit. Right. So you have to think of it like that. Like, and The Stand is such a fucking deep book that you can't, just like it, you can't do it in one movie. You have to do it in 1 or 2 or 3 because it is a dense novel. And
they're not saying that they're doing movies. I'm assuming they're going to do miniseries again because it just said we're getting new adaptations.
But with like something like Salem's Lot and The Stand, there are a lot of hyper violent things that like Sci-Fi Channel and everything can't do. Like it was even proven with the Stand fucking miniseries that they couldn't do much of the things that were in it. There are some scenes that have been egregiously not like I'm talking about like the child orgy scene from like It or anything like that. But there are some hardcore intense scenes that change the characters up in The Stand that they couldn't show on television. So the only way you could do this is you'd have to make it a streaming service show, or you would have to do it as like an HBO series.
It's probably going to go one of those 2 routes so they can get what they want in there. If we're getting people who cared as much as the people who did It.
I'll keep my thoughts for the other Stephen King story we have that's coming up with what I just said.
Yeah.
To give you a perspective of what I mean.
Okay. So, Taron Egerton has revealed that he wants Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson to play the villain in the 3rd Kingsman movie.
You're goddamn right he does.
If we are going the same, like, 1 to 2 is 2 to 3, this movie is going to be utter horseshit.
Or it could revitalize it because they could totally play it off as,
They could. They very easily could. But it could be bad.
Right, like again, like we said about like in our review we said about the Kingsman is that the first Kingsman movie really took itself as a parody of a James Bond movie, where this movie literally wanted to be a James Bond movie.
Yeah, this one tried too hard.
If they go back to that roots that it is hyper kinetic action with a James Bond parody-esque plot, it could totally work. And but the thing about that is that like. Your main villains in Kingsman 2 were not like bombastic and crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like Jodie
Foster.
Jodie Foster? Yeah.
Yeah.
Not Jodie Foster.
No. Fuck.
Yeah, it was Jodie Foster.
Is it? Yeah. I didn't remember if that was the last name. But Gil and Zach, you plan on seeing the second one here soon, right?
Eventually.
Yeah.
Did you see the
Okay,
first
you've
one?
seen the first one.
Y'all
Neither
motherfuckers
of you
just
have seen the first one?
What is with all
Nathan,
y'all
have you seen the
motherfuckers?
first one? Alright, never mind. I was going to ask you guys how you felt from Valentine and then a new person being played by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. But since you've not seen it, never
And that's
mind.
the thing. Samuel L. Jackson and fucking Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson have that bombastic and ecstatic personality.
They can definitely do it.
Chew scenery but still bring life to the movie, whereas she didn't. And that's the thing, that the villain was fucking like. I think she'd make a perfect villain for these kind of movies because you learned quickly that it was totally not.
I'm calling steroids in this one, by the way. Alright, so Mark Miller, creator of the Kingsman series and Kick-Ass, trusts Matthew Vaughn with his Kingsman series, saying he loved the sequel they made because he never got a chance to write one and wants to see what Kingsman 3 will hold. So basically, the creator of the Kingsman series is ready for this.
Man, you'd say that too if they gave you a shit ton of money for it.
Right, exactly. Like he's making money for this.
Any time a creator has ever said that, and even like like, dude, even Stephen King has been like that. Like,
Oh yeah.
like when Jay was like, Stephen King gave The Dark Tower like positive reviews. I'm like, yeah, because they gave him a fucking check, and they're like, yeah, man, here's all this money. Like, I don't, which is shitty. You should trust the integrity of your creator, but when you are handed like, I don't know, $1 million for your idea, you're definitely gonna be like, oh yeah, it's a good idea. It's a good movie. Make it.
Right. Yeah.
So
And I see where that's coming from, but for how Kingsman has been going, I think he might actually like it too.
but this is where I point out he's also the one who made Kick-Ass, and he gave Kick-Ass 2 raving reviews.
He
so.
did give Kick-Ass 2
So,
great
like-
reviews. He gave Kick-Ass 1 great reviews too.
Right, but Kick-Ass 1 and Kick-Ass 2 are basically the same reason what happened with Kingsman 1 and Kingsman 2. Is
Exactly.
that the story went too off the roof for what it was trying to be, and it lost the heart of the first movie.
Mhm.
So like when I hear people like when their creative properties become sequels and they're giving it rave reviews, while everyone else, like the critics and everyone, like we gave it like an okay, it's basically to me showing like, oh hey, we have money, we got money from it.
Mhm.
So I mean, I could be wrong, I want to be wrong, but
Right.
that's how it always feels like.
All right. So Sony adds another notable cast member to Tom Hardy's Venom solo movie, with the Oscar nominee Michelle Williams in talks to join. Zach is already making faces.
No.
Oh, okay.
It's his neutral face.
It's his neutral face? Alright.
That's racist.
I would be Ryan. Oh, it's terrible. Burn it. Everything should die.
Yeah, Ryan is going so back and forth on this movie.
What is
So back
How
and
long
forth.
has
The
Venom
new
been
Venom
development?
solo movie.
I don't
How long has
know.
this been in development?
A
It
while.
it actually just started in February, so it's
Oh.
not. This isn't
It's been a
uncommon,
good amount.
but they have been pushing back their production, which is supposed to be late October now.
Yeah.
So I mean, dude, it's one of those things. This was always a clusterfuck, anyways, because when they were marketing Spider-Man, the lady's like, Venom's in that universe. Now Venom's not in that universe. Venom's in that universe. No way, Venom's not in that universe. Silver Sable though and Black Cat might be in that universe. No, maybe they're not. So you're running into this. You're running into these like the studio. I don't think Sony doesn't know what the fuck to do. And the only good Spider-Man movie Sony has ever done, besides Spider-Man 1, because I don't like Spider-Man 2 or 3 in the Sam Raimi movie with Tobey Maguire. I'm sorry.
No, they're just bad.
They're
Yeah.
bad, but everyone tries to defend them.
I mean, I enjoyed them for what they were.
Right.
They were alright to watch, but they
Yeah.
weren't great movies.
Right, like everyone puts them on that pedestal.
I think they put 2 on the pedestal and 3 everyone just doesn't really like.
Right, but
Right.
2's on a pedestal for one weird reason I have no fucking clue, but like for me. But with this in mind, like again, the best Spider-Man movie they had, and I'm sorry, I do think Homecoming is better than the original Spider-Man. Fight me.
Yeah,
It does
I
give
can.
us a more teen Peter Parker.
Right.
It does.
Yeah.
It gives you the actual Peter Parker
It
originating
shows-
Spider-Man.
It does show his struggles with becoming a hero.
Right.
Yeah.
Paints a really good picture of what a teenager would do when they're
Right,
faced
it
with
really
becoming a superhero.
humanizes him. So
Mhm.
yeah, I totally think it's a better Spider-Man movie.
Alright.
But the first in the Sam Raimi trilogy isn't bad. It's
No.
just
Right,
That was
and-
pretty good.
And
It's the
I don't-
best
and
one
it's
out of the
campy.
trilogy,
It's the best one out of the
easily.
trilogy.
campy as hell.
Right.
Yeah.
Except for the dance scene in 3. That one was super campy and bad.
The less said about that, the better.
Man, I like 3. Like I don't know about you guys, but I like 3.
You were
Well, I
just
like
dissing
three.
on it.
I said
were.
it's not a good movie, but I enjoy it more than I enjoy 2. Like
All
everyone
right.
really likes 2.
Yeah.
I hate 2. I love 3, comparatively.
I think it has to go 1, 2, and then 3 for me.
Which is fine.
2 and 3 are just kind of meh. Alright, so our next one is Peggy Carter could be making a return to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. A recent post from the actress would suggest yes. Haley Atwell is posting cryptic messages on her possible return to the MCU.
Ah, this bitch.
Doesn't everyone do that though?
Yeah, a
Didn't they
lot of
kill her?
people. Yeah.
She died of old age, though.
She-
They
Yeah.
killed her.
Meh.
They
She's-
killed her series too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
but
I
quote
then
was,
unquote
I was
dead.
actually upset about that. That show was good.
She could be.
I think that's for a
They've
different
killed her
time.
twice.
Yeah.
I think, like it said, it could be flashbacks, because like we were talking
Yeah.
about, they're like looking for engineers and secretaries from the 1960s split for extras. So this could be a flashback scene, which I'm 100% cool with. Like on the real,
Nah.
like I really liked her. She was my favorite part of Captain America: The First Avenger. On the opposite of Strohman over here is like I personally did not like Agent Carter. I thought it was boring.
Lol.
What would they even
I,
put her
I
in?
enjoyed it.
Right.
I don't know.
Like, would they do flashbacks
She
in
runs
Infinity War?
Shield. Like she runs. Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, they put her in flashbacks in Infinity Wars. Like, they probably knew about like, this is a fan theory, the Infinity Stones or the process of them. Like they used the Tesseract, so they could probably use that as the research that they had on the Tesseract, and it could be her like looking through files. So, I mean,
Yeah.
it would be nice. I think she is a good part of the MCU, and like because you play a period piece character, they really can't do much with you. So it was
Right.
nice to see her in Ant-Man. It was nice to see, just like it was nice to see Tony Stark's dad in Ant-Man. Like I enjoy those kind of things. As a person who enjoys the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I like that they still bring callbacks to basically Captain America built that everyone's like Iron Man built that universe. Yes, Iron Man built the ability of there's heroes in the universe. Captain America built the Infinity Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Alright, so speaking of Ant-Man, a new set photo from Ant-Man and the Wasp shows... Yeah, I will show the picture in a second. Shows Evangeline Lilly facing off against someone who might be the main villain, Ghost. So... we are going to take a look at this picture here, if you guys would like to take a look.
Nice.
Villain.
Yeah, like, there is
Villain?
just a nice question mark over villain. We're not really positive. But, like, possible villain? Possibly not.
She is playing Ghost. None of y'all read comic books, right?
No,
Not
fuck
really.
that.
I'm a funny book boy, I guess. So Ghost is Ghost is actually an Iron Man villain. He's a he in the comics, but they cast her as a female, which is whatever. That's cool. He has the ability of phasing technology, and the thing that like he makes it sounds great for Ant-Man in general is that Ant-Man is now running a security business in Ant-Man and Wasp, using the shrink tech to like see flaws in security systems and things like that. So you have a person who goes through, who has is a ghost.
Yeah.
They have phased through technology. That's the perfect villain for Ant-Man and Wasp to face. The reason why I think this is still going to be a good movie comparatively is like, yes, it's not going to be like a part of Infinity Wars, you know what I mean? But I love that about like the Ant-Man movies and stuff. They're their own standalone films that you don't need. Like Ant-Man and Doctor Strange are all those standalone films that you don't need, the fact that there's an Infinity War about to happen. This, to me, makes me excited about seeing these set photos because I like the way her costume looks. It
Mhm.
looks very reminiscent of Ghost if you ever have a chance to Google it. They look the same. She just doesn't have the hood on.
Yeah. It looked like they were setting up a scene.
Right. So,
Dormammu, I've come to bargain.
I like those scenes.
Alright.
so with that, like, I'm excited for this. Like,
I didn't even... I really... Like, the first Ant-Man movie was alright.
I loved it. It's
like...
on my top 5 Marvel movies.
I like watching these superhero movies, but they're not a big thing for me.
Like, Ant-Man was right under Guardians. Like, I like Guardians and Ant-Man more than I actually like the Avengers.
Alright.
Even Civil War. Like, Ryan gives me shit for liking Ant-Man more than I like Civil War.
Lol.
I love Ant-Man.
Ryan gives a lot of shit to a lot of people, though. We gotta give him
Yeah, Ryan hates fun, though.
Alright, so next up, the latest image from Thor Ragnarok confirms the Warrior 3 will have a role to play in the epic battle against Hela. So here's our picture now of
Hogan.
Hogan,
That dude looks so unsure of what he's doing.
right? So like this looks like it could be a good battle, like
That
team.
dude looks like if Zach got a beard and decided, like, go on a diet. Like,
I'm in.
He looks like
And I grew out my hair.
yeah.
he looks like what I feel Zach would be like if he was trying to be Mr. Han. in, like, the 80s.
We've made those jokes plenty of
No,
times.
but like I've said how excited I am about Thor Ragnarok. I fucking dig the retro. I dig
Right.
the retro. I dig it being like acting like a B movie in some parts. I fucking love.
It's gonna
The
be a
aesthetic.
good watch for sure.
I like this, like. They say the Warriors 3, but you only see a picture of Hogan, so you don't actually know if you're gonna get like Farnall and Sif and all of them either. You might just get Hogan, which is fine, I guess.
Well,
Like,
they might be referenced, and
right.
who knows how long they're gonna last. Maybe this is like they're the original fighters when Asgard gets wiped out,
And they're gone.
and
yeah.
they're gone.
Right.
Or when they're coming back to siege
Right.
Asgard again, they come in when Thor is like getting his shit wrecked, and now there's like the whole fucking
But I
there's
think
a
that.
team with who
But
knows?
I think that's a nice callback though. Like I think that's the one thing, like we were talking about with Haley Atwell. Marvel does like to give those callbacks to those. Like they're not the major actors, but they like to give them callbacks to their characters
Oh yeah.
throughout the series. So I mean, I'm excited for this.
All right. So James Gunn confirms that like the original Groot, Yondu is dead and won't be returning in the MCU, except for flashbacks.
Good.
Mary Poppins is back, y'all.
Good.
So-
fucking kill
Yay.
them and leave them dead.
Yeah, I agree with that, but we're gonna get flashbacks, so I'm hoping we're gonna get some more feels moments and parenting to.
Kid flashbacks of Star Lord and stuff.
Yeah, like we're gonna see, even though Yondu's a dick, we're gonna get to see that he's being a parent to him, and like he's raising him in a shitty manner, but kind of correctly, like teaching him morals, even though he's a fuck.
Man, I've come to the realization that I'm at the polarizing opinion on everyone on Guardians of the Galaxy 2, besides like maybe a handful of people.
You didn't like it.
I did not like Yondu in that movie. Besides, like, I don't know. I think because his character did do a 180 from Guardians 1 to Guardians 2. Because in Guardians 1, he's a straight up asshole.
Yeah.
Like, straight up asshole. In Guardians 2, he's like, man, I had sympathy for you and shit. I'm like, where was this in 1?
You let him live.
Yeah, he didn't kill him, like he said he would, if he didn't get the stone.
Got the stone. They got rid of it. I mean, that's where I stand on this. Like,
He came back to help them.
I like Michael Rooker. I feel Yondu's shit is done.
Except for flashbacks.
Like, except for flashbacks, I guess. I just think
Like-
for the most part, I think Yondu's shit is done.
Well, or we could be getting shitty flashbacks of Yondu, where he's like a bad guy, and now people are gonna be pissed.
Right.
We could be getting something like that, evolving a story in a different way than we expected, kind of portraying Yondu back towards being an asshole.
He
Honestly,
did
I would.
traffic children.
Yeah.
Right. Honestly, this is just my preference. At the end of Guardians, like, because I read the comic books, the guys who went to his Ravager funeral were the original Guardians of the Galaxy of the comics.
Yeah.
I would totally not mind that because the new Guardians are fighting in the Infinity Wars, that the third Guardians of the Galaxy is a prequel movie about the Ravagers.
That would be cool.
I totally would be cool with that. Like, that would be awesome.
If it's just a full flashback movie, like the entire movie doesn't portray to our.
Yeah, you don't see Quill, you don't see any of those, but
It
then,
just, and then the end just kind of like leads up to.
like, hey, I need you to go get this kid named Peter from Earth. Like, I could totally see that as a thing.
That would be cool.
Like,
Yeah.
That's personally me though. Like I said, that was probably my favorite part of Guardians of the Galaxy 2 was seeing that scene because I love the original Guardians comic book.
Yep. All right. So the popular Teen Titans Go animated series gets
Popular.
its own film. Yeah, popular. The original Teen Titans is better.
Yeah.
As the cartoon superheroes stake a claim on July of 2018 for a release date.
Wait, they're getting their own movie?
Yep, they're getting an own movie.
They kind of already got that with that mute song episode.
Yeah,
Yeah, like when it was stretched across like what, 4 episodes?
something like that.
Yeah,
it
but
was.
those are only 15 minutes. Those are only 15 minutes long.
It still
Technically 10
equated
minutes.
out to an hour's worth of stuff.
44 minutes. You have to cut out the
Commercial
you have
time.
to cut out the commercial time and things like that.
It was still almost an hour. Like this is gonna be a little bit longer than that.
It'll
just
be,
no
it'll be an
breaks.
hour and 30 minutes. But my thing about this is that like
Why?
it's not even why. It's just like how do you make a show that is only a duration? It's you run into it with the SpongeBob movie and things like that. You can't really take a show where the whole fucking episode only last 15 minutes. Because, you know, just like SpongeBob, they're all bracketed into different stories.
Mhm.
And then, like, Teen Titans doesn't have that kind of heart, like, say, like, a Rugrats or Hey Arnold movie would have. Those movies would have. Latter of the Rugrats movies as the consecutive length got worse and worse. But the... Go on.
Like, because when you watch the TV show, you have a certain attention span, and then when you watch the movie, you have to, like, shift your attention span to watch it. Like,
Right.
And that's... You don't want to do that if you don't
Right.
have to.
Right, which runs into that fact that I'm going to fucking see this movie next week, this week. The fucking My Little Pony movie. You can only do so much within that movie... In that movie universe, shut the fuck up.
No. It's
I'm gonna try to get John to go.
yeah.
Yeah, he's going. He's going with Sam.
Oh shit.
Oh, I don't have to get him to go. He's going by himself.
But no, he's not going by him. He's going with Sam. But in Carter.
On his own.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
going on his
unfortunately.
own.
Oh, but like, he's going. We brought this up like 6 months ago that we were gonna do this, but like, nah, like on the real though, like the thing about animation that it is like Strohman said, it's the children's attention spans are shit.
Mhm.
Like, I put out an ask mass of like anyone who'd want to go see it. And everyone's like, I want to me and my kids want to go. I'm like, I'm not gonna go with you because they're not gonna pay attention, and I actually have to like watch this movie.
Right.
I don't want to have to like fucking pay attention to a kid being an asshole because they get bored. Like I have to actually watch this movie and make a critical analysis of it.
And want to die the entire time.
I don't know if I'm like Max think like the thing about this movie. It looks interesting enough. It's got an interesting voice cast.
Right. The voice cast isn't bad.
Right. That makes me like, you know, I'll give it a chance. And I mean, I used to babysit my nieces, and I had to watch My Little Pony, and their stories are way more consistent than Teen Titans goes. Shut the fuck up.
I didn't say a word.
Yeah, you pointed.
And you mouthed it too.
Fuck.
Zach,
Hey,
don't
that's
rat
one.
me out.
Sorry.
But
Did you have something to say, Nathan?
No, that was one.
Oh.
For you.
Yeah.
but no, it's fine. But no, that's what I mean though. Like I said, like Teen Titans Go is a sporadic like ADHD cartoon where My Little Pony actually has a consecutive story.
You can't condense you can't expand something that doesn't have very much to expand upon.
Right. Unless you get the Powerpuff Girls movie, which again I could be wrong. They could probably do something that like gives Harden back to the
Turns
original
out
Teen
it's
Titans.
just like a clip show.
God, I would be so pissed. They just like put 7 Teen Titan Go's episode. It's like here's our feature length film. Fuck you.
Basically.
They're gonna do that and be like, here's our feature length show. If you missed it, it's gonna be airing over the next 7 weeks in 15-minute increments.
On Cartoon Network.
Fuck. Alright, so Justice League is set to open the 150 million weekend opening. I don't. Does that mean they are set to make 150 million?
No, that's what they're projecting.
Yeah, like that's what they're projecting to make.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think it's gonna make 150 million in the
It
opening
will.
weekend.
It will make their money back.
Fucking.
They're gonna get my money.
Yeah, they're gonna get my money too. That once again, so Ryan, like, don't touch me like that. Ryan made that point when we went to go see Transformers. Is that we put our money in because we actually watch it and review it. Whereas people are dumb as shit and see like, oh man, this says Justice League, so people are gonna actually go fucking watch it.
Right.
Like everyone, DC Extended Universe is beating Housewife Syndrome to me by now. Is like, Man of Steel wasn't bad. Batman and Superman will be better.
Nope.
Wonder Woman. Batman and Superman was bad. Wonder Woman treated me nice. Justice League's okay. Suicide Squad's okay. It's kind of funny. It's like you keep coming back, like you're just like wanting more pain. Like this is the masochist movie universe because people are just going back to it because they're like, maybe this one won't hurt me.
Just
Right.
more anguish.
Just more anguish
Yeah.
and just like
defeat.
like, oh, this movie was fast, fun paced. Oh, Wonder Woman was slow, but it was still good. I was like, y'all just don't get this though.
You need cohesive storytelling lessons.
Oh,
Right.
here's what's gonna happen next in the next games.
Alright. According to the heads of DC Entertainment, continuity will be approached somewhat differently in the DC Extended Universe from here. Quote, Our intention, certainly, moving forward, is using the continuity to help make sure nothing is diverging in a way that doesn't make sense. Moving forward, you'll see the DC movie universe begin a universe, but one that comes from the heart of the filmmaker who's creating them. The movie is not about another movie. Some of the movies do connect with characters together, like Justice League, but like with Aquaman, our goal is not to connect.
So the idea is to make them feel like one-shot comic books, which is, I think, is a better creative route from here to do against the way Marvel does. Because, like I said, for the second Guardians of the Galaxy, Ant-Man and Doctor Strange, really, like, they show, like, Doctor Strange had the Time Stone, but that's all it had. It stood on its own. Really, if you make them like one-shot films, where even with Spider-Man Homecoming, there's no mention of the Infinity Stones or anything like that. So if you make these movies one-shot films, like, there's obviously they're going to reference, like, oh, I remember Wonder Woman was here or something like that. That's comics in general. They'll reference other characters just to be like, oh, that's right, they're in this universe. So it's nice to know that, like, we're not gonna just have Superman and Shazam fighting just because, you know, Superman doesn't have a movie out, so he'll fight Shazam.
Right. Alright.
So basically what they're doing is they're building the world around the base.
Right.
Mhm.
The world itself is the DC Extended Universe. They're just telling stories within the DC Extended Universe.
Yeah, they're not doing a lot of cross stories.
Okay, that's better.
So-
They don't need to do that. They work stronger as individual.
Because then we won't get
character
the anguish and pain of a Marvel movie every now and then.
I mean,
No, we'll get plenty of anguish and pain.
Yeah.
Man.
there was... I don't think there was any anguish and pain within Marvel. The only anguish and pain movie from Marvel I ever felt was Iron Man 2. It's because they were like, oh yeah, we are making an Avengers movie. Let's throw all this shit into a blender and see what we get. That was the only anguish and pain from any Marvel movie I ever felt.
Martha!
Alright, so Justice League composer Danny Elfman reveals he used a darker rendition of Johnny Williams' Superman theme for a scene involving Kal-El. So, alright. This is alright. They're using a darker theme for this. It's gonna be... It could be alright.
Mm-hmm.
It could be alright.
Man, like we've said on this, like y'all just can't, like, I don't know. I know John and Ryan and we've not argued, but we've talked about this and how I felt about the whole tone of Superman being that tone and Ryan defending Superman kills people. Yes, that's fine, Superman kills people, but Superman doesn't cause cataclysmic damage like that.
Right.
And repercussions, and it's just kind of like, you can have a dark Superman, that's fine, but the reason he's dark is really fucking ridiculous, so...
Well, this is just talking about the composer making a song.
Right.
Yeah.
To fit the darker tone of... See,
of the new theme.
See,
yeah.
and see, that's what I mean, like, leave it be.
Right.
It's kind of just like... When we're talking about that, they did that thing with fucking Wonder Woman, though. They did the Wonder Woman fucking TV show theme. Like, no one else... I don't think anyone else knew this besides me when they were doing, like, the like, the guitar scene. The guitar music in the background.
Mm-hmm.
That was the Wonder Woman scene. And that was just fucking, like... I was like, that wasn't needed at all. Like, everyone was like, did you see that callback? I'm like, no, it just kind of ruined that song. Like, those songs are upbeat for a reason. You put them in a D minor, they sound fucking garbage.
Kiersey Clemens teased that the DCEU universe or version of Iris West may not be from the present day, hinting at why she was cut from Justice League.
Wait, who?
Iris West is Wally West, is Barry Allen's girlfriend.
Yeah, so basically they're going to be doing a prior to Justice League and basically giving a reason to not have this person in Justice League.
Right.
Eh.
Whatever. I said, this movie sounded like it needed. He cut a lot of things out, anyways.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's like, yes, Barry Allen is a real deal person and things like that. But like, I don't think you really for this. You don't really need his girl for anything because it looks like Barry Allen is strangely young
Right.
in comparison to, besides Cyborg, to the other Justice League members. So it's whatever.
Mhm.
But like I said, like the movie is already slated to be 2 hours and 30 minutes long, so there's got to be a reason why shit was cut.
Right. DC Entertainment head Geoff Johns confirms that Todd Phillips' Joker Origins movie is separate from the DCEU movie continuity. So the Joker story is not part of the continuity?
So what this means is kind of like how an Elseworlds comic book would work. Man, I'm spewing out comic book knowledge left and right this fucking
Yeah, you are.
I like women.
Sometimes.
Gil doesn't know, so.
Yeah. But but no, so it's like an Elseworld one shot. It's kind of like how Gotham by Gaslight, you know, we saw that trailer from
Mhm.
that. It's that same premises of that. It's a story that has the characters, but it's in an alternate reality so it gives them more freedom to do what they want with the character. You know, like
An Earth 2, if you will.
yeah, so it gives them that more freedom to do shit with them.
Yeah. Yeah. Alright. So that is all the news we have for DCEU. We're going to take a short break and come back with our Star Wars stuff.
Okay, and we're back from our brief intermission. Now it's just the core. Now we are a full minority podcast. Yeah.
We're a trio.
What? Now let's go hit some of them fun news. Sony and director Sean Levy are looking at Bryan Cranston to play a key role in the Uncharted movie opposite Tom Holland as a young Nathan Drake. What do y'all think about that?
They're really throwing Bryan Cranston in a lot of movies.
Yeah, they are. Man, like, yo, I understood Power Rangers and all that, but I don't know. I don't think anyone here is really aching for an Uncharted movie. Like we've always talked about, video games are already cinematic as they are.
You don't
So
need a movie.
you don't need a movie.
I was gonna say most video game movie adaptations end up really bad.
Right.
I mean, as long as he wants to keep doing his thing, more power to Bryan Cranston. But sometimes you got to give Malcolm's dad a break.
Right.
Oh my god.
Right, I get you. Olivia Munn says X-Men Simon Kingberg's Dark Phoenix will be a two-parter, additionally confirming her involvement as Psylocke. This does not bode well for me because I did not like X-Men Apocalypse, so I don't think we need a two-part X-Men movie.
Only good thing to come out recently from the X-Men franchise is Wolverine, and that I wouldn't even really say it from the X-Men franchise because that's its own core cohesive story.
Is Logan technically part of that, or is that its own
Yeah.
thing?
What's the ending? Well, I mean, I guess it would be like a one-shot dystopian future, but like, man, I don't know, man. This is one of those things where it's just like,
You're beating a dead horse.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I feel like the X-Men movies are kind of
After they
played
stop
out.
getting numbers, that's
Like-
when you stop.
man, like we've always talked about, they need to keep that property right, so I get that, but at the same time, it is a lot of work. Then we jump to Quentin Tarantino says he would consider making a Star Trek film despite having vowed to retire after directing 2 more movies. I'm good. You don't need to make a Star Trek movie, Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah,
I don't think that'd be an exciting movie.
he's fine. Just,
What has he directed?
Pulp Fiction and all those, Kill Bill.
Huh.
I don't think he's a good Star Trek director.
Well, I don't think they'd fit in with his universe.
No.
And his universe in a universe.
Right. So this
Well,
is an
I mean,
interesting...
technically.
Yeah. So y'all played that Twisted Metal?
The old racing game.
Yeah.
Where you shoot things with cars.
Crank director Brian Taylor would have cast Nicolas Cage as an insane street clown, Sweet Tooth, if he made the Twisted Metal movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Oh fuck! I'm glad some of this shit never got made.
I mean, I'd be up for it, but that's just because Nick Cage is hilarious.
That's because
No,
you
shut up,
love.
Joe.
That's because you
Yeah.
love Nick
Why
Cage.
do you love Nick Cage?
It's just an ironic kind of love.
Because he loves
His-
the bees.
His beauty is endless, but his movies are trash.
I just love.
But there
him.
are some good ones.
This.
I just love him in both National Treasure movies, and that's about it.
Oh, these
The veins, they're in my eyes.
motherfuckers.
That I don't.
Arnold Schwarzenegger believes that once work on Terminator 6 is completed, his next project is going to be a twin sequels, triplets. Motherfucker.
He needs to stop.
Yeah, man.
Jesus
Just
You're already
Christ.
the governor of California.
he was
He's not
former.
anymore.
Oh.
Not anymore.
Right. You were already the governor of California. You moved on from showbiz. Why would you go back to it?
Money.
True, but governor. He had power.
Yes, but you also have money in these things. Like
I mean,
the
I'm
Terminator
pretty sure you
franchise.
still get money for being the head of the
Yes.
state.
But you won't be as hated for it.
I mean, depends
Well-
what movies you make. The new Terminators have not boded well with fans.
Right,
Yeah,
and James
I'll give you
Cameron's
that.
upcoming Terminator 6 is slated for a July 2019 release.
Well, I'm not going to see it.
I mean, it's not. They said they're not going to pay attention to Terminator Genesis or 3. It's just, I don't know. They just need to
They
stop.
They need to make a definitive, cohesive timeline. And
Right,
stick with it.
but time travel, you can do that shit with time travel.
Yeah, I
though. It's like
know.
you can mess shit up all the time. You know, it's weird.
Yeah, but they've messed it up really bad.
Yeah, it's more like a mangled corpse.
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves expresses his wish for Tilda Swinton to join the John Wick Chapter 3. Tilda Swinton played the Master in Doctor Strange.
Oh.
As long as she does a good job and we keep seeing more Keanu.
Right. So, it looks like, in spite of numerous rumor setbacks, James Cameron is pretty confident that Avatar 5 will reach theaters in 2025 as scheduled. Jesus fucking Christ.
They're expecting the second one to come out in 2020, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So that means they're going to be releasing one every year.
Yeah, sounds like it.
That is a horrible idea. Horrible.
Right. Man, I don't know, man.
It's taken them this long to get a sequel in the first place.
When-
Most people have found it to be old news.
When was Avatar released?
Man,
2011?
the thing about this is a $15 million, this $50 billion budget for all these 5 movies combined together. That's
Jesus
fucking
Christ.
insane, man. That's
Oh
like,
my god.
And the first one wasn't even that impressive.
right. It really wasn't. Director Len Wiseman confirms sequel/prequel hybrid to Die Hard Year One is still in development, with search for a young John McClane ongoing. Again, we have talked about these sequels, and I feel like they just need to die.
I'm totally up for it.
Really?
No.
Okay.
I could totally play the part, though.
Yeah, you probably could. Juan
Yeah.
McClane.
I was gonna say nice try.
That's racist.
Yeah, that's cool, but like, nah, it's just one of those things. The film gets underway. Yeah, 1 billion saga, Godzilla sequel. Director Michael Daughtry, and I like Godzilla. Yeah, shut your mouth. Announces the end of for the King of Monsters, following up via social media. So they finished directed photography of it. I don't know. I feel excited about this. Like, I like Godzilla a lot. Godzilla is like one of my favorite genres of movie of all time. So
Right.
You ever find it weird how when they do that stuff, they have to, like, go out and shoot scenery?
yeah,
And they
them
have-
running away.
Yeah, and then they add the monster.
Yeah, I mean, it's, yeah.
I mean, a testament to the actors doing
Right.
their job.
Should
but-
just have an actor just dress up in the costume and just chase them around in it.
Yeah.
Try and get their
Wearing,
reactions to
like, a
look
green
genuine.
suit, like,
Yeah.
Oh my god, it
He's
ain't
just-
Richie!
He's just wearing the Geico gecko suit.
Man, I understand. So, this is something you might be interested in. Leonardo DiCaprio is reuniting with Martin Scorsese to develop a feature-length film biopic of Theodore Roosevelt.
Yeah.
Would he be playing Theodore Roosevelt?
Yes.
I feel like you could pull it off.
I think you could too.
This could be interesting.
I don't know. I think it sounds interesting. I think it would. I mean, I like Theodore Roosevelt, like not as a person or anything like that, but no, I
For
think
his
it's-
actions.
Yeah.
His actions speak louder than his.
Sony officially announces a spin-off to the Men in Black series, guys.
Is it the guys in white? The woman
I hope
in,
so.
The woman in midnight
The
blue.
Woodman in Midnight.
They're gonna.
God damn you.
God.
Damn you,
I'm
Gil.
gonna
Damn you,
hit
Gil.
you with that pillow the second you let go of
Hashtag
it.
fuck Gil. That's what.
I
So,
mean, if you're a woman and single, maybe. Buy me dinner first. Put a ring on
the
finger.
Underworld television series is moving ahead from producer Lean Wiseman despite not having a succeeded network. Secured network. I don't know. I didn't really like the Underworld series. I don't know about you guys. I just.
Like the movie series with
Yeah.
vampires and the.
Yeah, they're making a
werewolves.
TV series.
I don't know.
Well, if it's not a good movie success, why would you think it'd make a good series?
It was a good movie success, though.
Really?
It made its money back.
Yeah.
Well, did it make more than its money back?
Yeah, well, at least one, 2, and 3 did.
It could possibly work.
Yeah,
The
I
President
guess.
is Missing is a new novel from Bill Clinton and James Patterson. Will be adapted into a television series for Showtime.
What's it about?
The President,
Is missing.
Bill Clinton.
Just really? That's it?
Yeah.
Just about Bill Clinton? That's
Yeah.
it?
Mm-hmm.
I did not have sex with that woman in my
Yeah,
office.
they probably said that a ton of times.
If there are no saxophone solos, I will be disappointed.
Yeah, agreed.
The Rooster Brothers add their name to yet another comic adaptation as they're helping bring Deadly Class to TV by way of sci-fi. So the story focuses on an orphan, Marcus Lopez, who joins a prestigious school for assassins after a long childhood on the street. Set in the 80s, the story exposes Lopez's unfortunate life while also diving into plenty of violence and battle training, all with the prep school backdrop. See, I think this is interesting to me. Like, I don't know. I think it sounds
So
fun.
it's like a grittier 80s Kingsman.
Yeah.
Even though we haven't seen Kingsman.
Yeah, but I get the premise.
I think it's exciting.
I mean, as long as it pans out well, and it's on sci-fi, so we can't really be holding our hats up too high.
Yeah.
Right. So, HBO won't be scripting in the final season of Game of Thrones. They're reporting pegging seasons as the show's most expensive yet, $15 million per episode.
Wow.
They're really pulling it
Oh
all
my
out for
God.
these last episodes, but they're talking about making these basically like feature-length films, so they have to.
Yeah,
Is
basically.
this the series finale?
Yeah.
This is the final season coming
Yep.
up.
Oh, wow.
8 good years of my life wasted on watching titties and dragons.
Haven't seen any of them. Should probably watch it.
Well, all we really need to do is see a clip show of said titties and dragons, and I think we'd be good.
Yeah, I think that's what you get the basis of it. So, AMC is allowing The Walking Dead to use F-bombs during its 8th season, though the show will still be somewhat restricted.
I mean, why wouldn't you?
Oh man,
It's
you
a-
gotta say
it's
fuck,
a
guys.
Gritty, dirty show. Why wouldn't you have said that beforehand?
Way to go.
I don't know. I
You've gone
guess.
from saying
Censors?
shit to fuck. Way to go.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
Like
So-
5-year-olds probably say it by now.
Right. So that has been the rest of our news.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a pretty quick
Alright.
rundown.
No
Yeah.
questions today,
No
too.
questions today. So
Crazy.
thank you. Sorry, everyone left for technical difficulties. Some
And
people got
because-
sick and tired, and other people went to karaoke. So
Screw
I'm
you,
Kian.
Jay. Screw you, Jay.
I'm Zach.
All right, bye.